porta potty cleaner. They've been coming out here more frequently than I'm used to. I went up and I told him this morning, I said I go through and I make sure the foilies and the needles are picked up. Like I said, good luck with that. But I did thank them. I mean, it's a shitty job, obviously. And for the most part, it's fucking thankless. But those are the guys who are cleaning up the needles. Those are the guys who are picking up the foilies. When you guys put a big old grocery bag full of whatever it is that you put in there into the porta potty, these are the guys who have to dig it out. They got to deal with your shit. You know, that guy with the newspaper here, he should talk to the porta potty guys. That's probably a horrible description. They have names and they are people. But, you know, much like when I'm going down the streets and I see a needle on the side, I try to find a place to take it or someone who will do something with it. Instead of it just sitting there all day where your kids have access to it. And you all know that your kids put crap in their mouths. It doesn't matter if it's a foilie or a needle. It only takes half a second of you answering your phone for your kid to grab something like that behind the propane tanks over a Safeway. You're over there standing, waiting on the bus with your kid. How long does it take for that kid to see that something that looks different, go grab it and start putting it in their mouths? What are you putting in your mouth? By that time, it's already too late. It's already in their mouth. These guys, they don't have badges. You know, they don't have big, great, illustrious titles. They're shitter cleaners like I used to do. Yeah, I did it different. They clean porta potties. I clean sewers. You know, for them, they don't have to dig out 30 yards to the main. But they're doing the same job. They're working with the same shit. Someone calling themselves Hades typed, "Hey, Sean." Let me guess, you got another profile called Nuts, right? Like that dude calling himself Nate Higgers. Yeah, like nobody's gonna figure that one out. The thing is, we all got a part to play. We all live on this rock together. What would be going on with those porta potties if these guys didn't come and clean it out every day? It'd be overflowing with shit. People wouldn't come to this park. It would stink too badly. And if they didn't come clean it up, when you come here to play with your toddlers because, you know, they're not in school yet, you come out here, you think, well, you know, I don't have to have my kid around some of the older kids who are going to be cursing and spitting and spouting off all sorts of wannabe gangster bullshit. You know, they want to come out here and have a nice quiet picnic with their kids. They want to be able to allow their kids to use the bathroom. This is a kids' park. It's a kids' park. That's what it is. It's specifically for kids. Now, is this someplace that I want to park? No, it's not. Now, are these kids safer because I'm here? Absolutely. Is that the way you're going to look at it? Absolutely not. Well, those guys cleaning out the porta potties, is their intention to clean up the whole world? No. No, it's not. That's not what they're doing. When you see them cleaning the porta potty, do you tell them, "Oh, dude, you can't clean up the whole world"? When they say, "Hey, I just got to clean these 2 porta potties," are you telling them, "Hey, you can't clean every porta potty in the whole world"? Hey, hold up. We're not trying to clean up every porta potty in the whole world. They're cleaning up the porta potties right here in their community. How about we focus on that? How about we focus on cleaning up the community like those fellers are doing? How about instead of saying, "Oh, I didn't do it," or "It's not my fault," how about be a responsible fucking adult and go, "That needle doesn't fucking belong there"? How about instead of saying, "Oh, well, I don't care. It's not my kids. I don't have kids." How about you go and think to yourself, common fucking sense, that if you hadn't seen it, you could have fucking stepped on it. And how would you be? What are the chances that the person whose needle it was sharing needles with people at some time in their drug-using past? Including possibly right before you fucking stepped on that goddamn needle. You get to hear how disrespectfully I speak with law enforcement and how disrespectfully I speak with every agency now. I start off nice. I start off trying to explain it as kindly as I can. Am I thankful for the cops in this town? Hell no. Am I thankful for the 2 guys that just cleaned the porta potty? Hell yes. They're leaving now. The one guy opened the door right after I said thank you. I was like, I do go in there and try to pick up the foilies and the needles in the morning and toss them. You know, usually I put them in a coffee cup with a plastic bag. If it's a needle, if it's just the caps, I just throw them in a coffee cup and throw them in the garbage. A lot of times it is just the caps. That's enough of an identifier that anybody that knows what they are is going to go, "Hey, they're using drugs in this park." But for the most part, you know, it's just the caps. Not always, though. Over at the Safeway 4 different times, finding actual needles and people's foilies behind the propane tanks. And of course, then there's the foilies and the porta potties here, and the needles in the porta potties, and the needle caps all over the park. And then I got footage here of the people who are actually using it. People like that Jamie lady. You can actually see her trying to smoke that stuff on my channel. There was a hole in her foilie, so it all dripped out. Thank goodness. But then what did she do? She spent like an hour next to my vehicle trying to dig that shit out of the cracks on the blacktop. The worst thing about the police is they keep sending me to drug addicts. Not just the police, all these different agencies. Drug addict after drug addict after drug addict. And sadly, there are already drug addicts that I've gone to for help. Just because they claim to know, they claim to understand. But, you know, the people they're sending me to, we don't have anything in common. I don't use. Brian does. I don't enjoy homelessness. He does. I don't have friends or family here. He does. I don't confront people unless it's necessary for the safety of the community. Not just me. When them youngins were fucking around with that BB gun, Kyron Rhodes is the guy who ended up with it. But what I saw is somebody pointing a gun at the back of somebody else's head. All right? And I did walk up and I did explain to them how dangerous a situation it is. I told them how dangerous a situation it is. How easily they could have gotten themselves killed, because people can't tell it's a BB gun from that far away. All they see is one person pointing a gun at another one. The day after that, I spoke to Susan about it. What did she have to say about the situation? The same thing I told those youngins. It's a good way to get yourself killed. You don't like my screaming. You don't like my antics. You don't like my crazy. Well, pay attention to why I'm acting like that. If I wasn't talked over, I wouldn't have to scream. I don't want to fucking yell at anybody, but it's necessary. It's important to have a friend or family member there with you to verify things that happen. If they're not, and you record it, you need your friends to look at it so they can verify that it happened. There's a reason I record. It's evidence. You can see the evidence of what an asshole I am. What's the sense in hiding it? People threatened to kill my friends and family for over a year before Natalie was killed. Do you really think that I was freaking out over fucking nothing? That's insane. But you know what? At least the porta potty dudes are doing their jobs. Now let me ask you a question. If the police decide that they don't want to investigate because you're a homeless male, and they can just call you mentally ill and get away with not doing their jobs, do you think they should get paid? Imagine the porta potty guys, if they showed up to all the porta potties and went, oh, well, there's a tiny piece of foil in the corner still, so I'm not cleaning it today. There's a needle over there, I'm not cleaning it today. There's a needle cap over there, I'm not cleaning it today. Imagine if you hired a bricklayer to come to your house, or come to your property and build you a house. You're still expected to pay him, but he decides that he just doesn't want to do his job because he doesn't like the property you bought. Or he's jealous of the fact that you were able to buy that property. Or he doesn't like the look of you. Or he's pissed off because your wife is better looking than his hand. People have selfish motivations. People get jealous easily. People will destroy your life over jealousy, and nobody will do it quicker than a woman because they're taught to do that. Are women naturally and inherently like that? No, they're not. It is not ingrained in a woman's biology to do that any more than it's ingrained in a man's biology to beat and rape women. All right? That's not a part of our biology. A sex drive is. Rape is not. We reproduce through intercourse. For the preservation of our, is there a culture we're trying to preserve here? No, it's our race. I don't mean the white race or the black race. I mean the human race. Propagate. If you're expected to pay a bricklayer only if he does the work, you're expected to pay the dudes who clean the porta potties only if they do the work. But you will pay government employees to not work, to lie to victims, to bully victims based on gender, based on ability to defend themselves. I want you to take a good close look at that. Look at all the propaganda against the homeless. It's propaganda. You're not allowed to say that about blacks anymore, so you say it about the homeless. You're not allowed to say that about Jews anymore, so you say it about the homeless. You're not allowed to say that about Mexicans anymore, so you blame it on the homeless. Fuck it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the homeless. Black people don't care about the homeless. White people don't care about the homeless. Native people don't care about the homeless. The only people who care about the homeless are the homeless, and they're all in survival mode and can't take care of nobody but themselves. Meanwhile, the porta potty guy comes out here and does his fucking job. He's not the one using the drugs, but he's also not using that as an excuse. Oh, I'm not cleaning it up. It's not my drugs. I'm not cleaning it up. It's not my foily. I'm not going to stick the hose in that toilet. It's not my shit. I'm not going to change the toilet paper roll. It's not my toilet paper roll. No, it's your job. It's your fucking job. Do your fucking job. What's my problem with the fucking pigs? They won't do their fucking job. They still want to get fucking paid, but they don't want to do their job. What's my problem with public pretenders? They want to get paid, but they don't think they should have to do their fucking job. Sure, it's against the law to discriminate against somebody because of their gender, but if you work for the government, it's fine. It's against the law to discriminate against somebody because of poverty, but if you get government tax dollars, it's fine. Well, no, it's not. These crimes are going unregulated. Unregulated. That means that these police and these 911 operators and every one of these other agencies that are supposed to be trained mandated reporters are going out of their way to not do their jobs. After literally dozens of calls where I asked to talk to the sheriff's department, I was told repeatedly by 911 that they could only send me to the police. Now, the last 911 call that I made, after literally having to call up and start screaming from the start in order to get them to seriously take this shit seriously. You like the big eyes? Yeah, I learned that from the Maori. You think I'm really a scary person? No, I have to put on a fucking act. I had to practice that in the mirror. Did you know that? I have to practice that. Of course that looks scary. Make your eyes real big. Look down your nose at him. And what am I doing at that point? I'm giving you examples. When people come up to me and start threatening me and yelling at me and accusing me of shit that I didn't do, are they willing to look at the evidence? No, they're too busy threatening to kill me. Too busy trying to intimidate me into leaving. Fuck this goddamn country. Then we got these punks that want to tell me to give it to God. Holy shit. If you were a Christian, that is not what you'd be saying. If you were a real Christian, you wouldn't be telling me to give it to the Jesus. Jesus would have fucking listened. What are you going to do? You're going to tell me to give it to the Jesus. Jesus died 2,000 years ago. Also, as part of my argument for the legalization of assisted termination of life, Jesus was an assisted suicide. Bless you. If it hadn't been for Judas Iscariot, we wouldn't have a fucking Bible. Or, we wouldn't have a New Testament. See, all the things that Jesus did in his life, all of that stuff, you get to hear Christians today. The most important part for all of them is the resurrection. It shows he's the Son of God and we should listen to the word and the interpretations of asswipes who will manipulate you by pretending to believe. How many of them preachers who molested children actually believe in God? How many of them chose a position as a preacher so that they could have access to little boys? I call these mandated reporters and I try to tell about the individuals who are committing crimes against me, and if it's multiple individuals, I say so. for these assholes to try to pretend like every nurse out there is some fucking goddamn saint and every fucking pig is a goddamn Boy Scout is fucking insane. Alright? Trying to pretend that your friends are saints over the top of me trying to turn in your friends is completely fucked. Now, the fact that after all these calls, now finally 911 can actually make a call to the sheriff's department. This one time, after all the times they told me they couldn't do that, they could only send me to the police department. These people are taking advantage of disabled and at-risk adults. They know that homeless people don't have access to the internet shit that you want us to jump through in order to get this turned in. You won't allow us a room to sit down with a piece of paper and write it out. You won't allow us to turn in evidence. You won't try to collect it. So why the fuck you want to pretend like you're some sort of goddamn saint for being a cop? You're a lying piece of shit just like every other cop. You work for 911 dispatch. Maybe you shouldn't fuck around with the goddamn victims just because you don't want to turn in your friends. Just because you don't want your friends getting in trouble. Well, guess what? At that point, you're breaking the law and you're going to get in trouble. When you literally force an at-risk and disabled adult to have to go to fucking YouTube and Facebook because law enforcement won't do their fucking jobs because they're being sexist. No, this is not fucking okay. There's a lot of my predators that I told about them abusing children. Later on, they were charged with child abuse. But the charges of child abuse were dropped. Because if they hadn't been, then it would have shown that I was telling the truth. Like the situation with Harley Richmond. If they hadn't dropped the charges on her and tried pegging it all on Dallas, well, it would have been a lot easier for me to stay. I wouldn't have had to move. But Harley Richmond doesn't care about anyone but herself. She doesn't care about the consequences for others. What she wants to do is blame the man. It's the man's fault. When she came over and physically assaulted Dallas Richmond repeatedly, I wasn't allowed to say nothing, but I did anyway. And every time she would say, "Oh, well, you don't know what he was like in the past." Lady, I don't give a fuck. Him being like that in the past, and you won't leave him alone today, it's obviously not in the past. It's continuing. Obviously, he's not hitting you back. Obviously, you are using the children as a tool to manipulate yourself back into his life so you can be a fucking alcoholic bully again. No. If you want to tell me that it's okay for you to put me and your husband through that hell for over a year, almost 2 full years of that, because he punched you in your leg in his sleep once, now all of a sudden he's the world's worst husband? Well, if he's the world's worst husband, why do you keep coming back? Why do you keep saying, "Oh, Dallas, I got to go out and do something. I need you to watch the kids." And then you show up with the kids, drunk as a fucking skunk, not leaving. Does Dallas get to spend any time with his kids? No. Harley is too busy there trying to whine and pine that he needs to take her back. If he's that fucking bad, why are you whining and pining because you want him to take you back? Now, we got recording after recording with Dallas Richmond on this channel, where he states very openly that the reason he never called the cops on her is because in Nebraska, they always arrest the man. He was afraid to turn in abuse against him because he didn't want to get arrested. Then, it didn't matter at the end, did it? Because when she committed a felony and put not only her own life, but 5 children's lives, including a newborn, at risk. They dropped the charges against her so they could charge Dallas Richmond for domestic assault. For kicking Harley Richmond out of the house because she was fucking assaulting him. I've got recordings of the fucking assaults, for Christ's sake. You could hear the objects being thrown. Because she thinks it's okay when she gets drunk. She thinks it's okay if she gets violent. She thinks it's okay that she bullies people. She thinks it's okay that she fucking stalks people. This shit is not fucking okay. At least the guys at the fucking porta potty do their goddamn jobs. They don't expect to get paid for free. They're not showing up and instead of cleaning the porta potties, going in there and fucking shooting up and fucking leaving foilies all over the place. The cops are making this fucking mess. TFCC is making this fucking mess. The people on the state level, every fucking level of government here is aware of what's going on because they are all literally taking part in it. There is a lot of money in ignoring crimes against the homeless. There's a lot of money in allowing a homeless person to be gaslighted and bullied until either A, they are dead, or B, they have a mental fucking breakdown and you can arrest them for it. More fucking money. More theft from the American taxpayer. Meanwhile, none of the professionals that are supposed to do something about this are going to do anything about it because they're too busy doing the same exact thing. Playing stupid. I know the moment they start playing stupid, that the next thing they're going to do is play victim. When they realize that I do know the law, that I'm not fucking retarded, and they want to keep on lying at me, and I check them on their bullshit, and they got this circle of lies that they just keep on repeating. Well, maybe if that was the circumstances, it's possible that your interpretation of the law might be correct, but the situation and scenario for which you are trying to use it does not fit. You're grasping at fucking straws just like DaCosta, just like Burke. These people had to gaslight the fuck out of me in order to force me into a fucking mental breakdown, and it is fucking intentional. They are intentionally not doing their fucking jobs. Thank goodness for the shitter cleaners, who aren't pieces of shit expecting to get paid for doing a job they're not fucking doing. Who's protecting your kids out here? I am, because I'm the first responder. I'm the one in the parking lot when that shit happens. I'm the one at the park when that shit happens. I'm the one there seeing it and recording it. The cops like to talk over you when the scenario isn't a scenario where calling 911 makes any difference because the cops are already there and the cops are refusing to do their jobs, and I have to turn those cops in for making a safety issue by not doing anything about the crimes, not doing anything to secure the victim's safety, or allow me a safe place to make a police report. What they do instead is take advantage of my disabilities and take advantage of gender bias and take advantage of bias against the homeless. When you're victimizing someone and they try to turn you in, well, then magically, what do? Oh, well, he's a physically assaulter. He's a sex offender. He's a rapist. He's a child molester. Really? Not sure if you noticed, but I have never been charged with a crime against a child. Ever. Harley Richmond? Yeah. Dallas Richmond? Yeah. Zach Richmond? Yeah. Amy Kalina Kingery? Hell yes. How about Joshua Rayborn? Yep. How about Rayanne Ingersoll? Yes. How about Ted Bollinger? Yes. How about Rose M. Kelly? Yes. All of these people are child abusers with a history of abusing children. How about Robert Franklin Warnick? Yes. How about Wesley Reiner? 88958. What's he in prison for? For raping his 3-year-old brother in front of a 9-year-old at a foster home. God bless America, motherfuckers. I told you that Waylon and Lolotai assaulted me, and that they did everything they could to destroy the body cameras, to play any fucking trick that they could. What I needed is a friend or family member there with me to fucking record it, to bear witness. And to help me to fucking turn it in if the crimes I expected they would commit were committed. But then again, they can tell who's naive and fucking retarded. They do this for a living. When you end up with a fucking dumb shit like Stephanie Mejia, they know exactly what to do. Exactly how to manipulate the situation. Exactly how to manipulate the victim so they don't have to do their jobs. It's not me failing to try. It's their failure to do their goddamn jobs for the fucking victim. I'm not an acceptable victim. I'm not good looking, so I don't matter. I don't have money, so I don't matter. I don't have tits, so I don't matter. Fuck you. Clean your shit up. This is your fucking community too, assholes. How many parents walked by that needle the other day? How many parents walked by with their kids and didn't do a goddamn thing about it? Just left it there. You'll fucking complain, but you won't do a goddamn thing to clean it up. Also, almost everybody that is listened to one of the 911 calls or any of these other calls for that matter, who has had to go through this themselves. Most of them are women, and they say, hey, that's not the way it's supposed to work. That's not the way it works. Sean, they're not following the law. Sean, that's not the things that they told me. You know what, Sean? The police did everything that they could to make sure that the guy that I was trying to turn in as a predator was in court. I don't understand why they wouldn't allow you in court. Why did they pull all this bullshit to prevent you from going to court, Sean? Well, funny story. It's not so fucking funny. A long time ago, when I needed my friends to come forward with me so these things would be less likely to happen, I had no friends. I had pretty fucking words on Facebook. People just make any excuse they can to not do the right thing. Oh, sure, but when they want me to do something, yeah, they expect it. They even make empty promises of I'll pay you back. Or I'll help you out. If you ever need anything, just call. Well, I needed something. Needed, not wanted. I don't want your fucking help. I need your help. Do you understand the difference? I'm going to say one more again. I am thankful for the people who clean the porta potties at Lillian A. Goodspeed Park. When I told them I was going through and cleaning up the foilies and the needles, they told me good luck. Then the guy opened up the porta potty and said, it does look a lot cleaner. A lot cleaner. The only thing that was picked up was foilies. There was no needles in there this morning. But almost every morning, there's going to be 3 to 5 foilies in each bathroom. It has been cleaner in the last few days than it has previous. And a lot of the people who are doing it are people who are mad at me because I recorded them and put them on YouTube. So when they see me, they go the other fucking way. Does that keep this park just cleaner? Yes, it does. Am I proud of my methods? No. Matter of fact, I'm pissed off that those are the methods that I have to employ. Maybe if I park here, those people won't come over here and do their drugs while I'm here. They'll leave less foilies here. They're still going to smoke it. They're jonesing. They're going to go smoke it behind a fucking bush somewhere. But at least that bush won't be here. They're going to go shoot up behind some building somewhere. But at least it's not a building here. The police presence doesn't scare these people, but mine does. I will record them doing those fucking drugs. It will be on my YouTube channel, and people will see them doing those drugs. People will know that I'm telling the truth. All the cops are going to do is show up and fucking bully the victim. Fuck the police. You know why this community is so filthy? Because you're dependent on dirty cops to do the job. This is your fucking community too, Tillamook. Yours. It's your kids that play at this park. It's your ass that's going to sit on that porta potty when you have to go to the bathroom out here. It's you with your kids who has to worry that when you go to that bathroom, someone might abduct your kids. It's you who has to worry that you might step on those needles too. It's you who have to worry that your children might step on those needles too. It's you who have to worry about every predator that the police have ignored me about because they don't want to get in trouble for not doing their jobs as mandated reporters. It's a $2,000 fine here. It was $600. Now it's $2,000. So that's monetary incentive for them to cover it up after they fucked up the first time. Mandated reporters have to do their job immediately. Immediately. Not in 6 days, not in 6 months, not in 6 fucking years, but immediately. How many mandated reporters do I have recorded on my channel not doing that immediately? And how many of those mandated reporters did I have to go back to? How many of these mandated reporters was I sent back to again and again and again while they just talk over me so they don't hear any details? Even if I do tell them the names, they don't write it the fuck down. Meanwhile, it's a complicated situation, but rather than understanding it's a complicated situation, they want it to be an easy fix in 15 minutes or less where they don't have to do anything except tell you to do something that you've already done. Not one of these fucking places that spent all of this time trying to find fucking numbers for me, not one of them gave me a number that I didn't already have in at least one of my phones. These services that are supposed to help us are taking advantage of us. The reason there are so many of us out here on the streets is because we're being victimized out of all of our money. We're being forced to jump through government hoops. I am in so much pain from running around to all the places that I'm told are supposed to help, that literally the only thing that I can look forward to is having a massive fucking heart attack. Meanwhile, I'm not mad at the people who threatened to kill me for threatening to kill me. I'm pissed off that those cowardly sons of a bitches didn't follow through. There's a lot of ways of killing somebody. I believe between shooting somebody and killing them with time, I believe putting them in prison for the rest of their lives is the right thing to do. Most of these predators only committed misdemeanors and minor felonies. But some of these people who committed crimes against me are elderly. They're much older, and they committed a lot of felonies against me. They came from the old school, when you ignored any and all evidence because there wasn't any. You couldn't clandestinely record somebody in the 1980s and 1990s. There was no electronic recording device small enough to achieve that goal. You had a camera that was this fucking big. You hold it on the side of your head. Yeah, people know exactly what you're fucking doing. It's not the same as turning on my phone, is it? So these officers that go out of their way to use brutal tactics, brutalize men, brutalize the homeless, and call that police work. How about looking at fucking evidence, you goddamn dipshit? How about doing your fucking job to protect the victims instead of harming them?